maybe. Oh, I think we got it. God, Christ almighty. You watch me pull out a little pouting now.
Good evening, welcome back to Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan. And as you can see, we're out fishing and it's daylight. I love being able to come out and fish and it's still light after work. It's brilliant. So, second venue of choice this evening. We did toy with the idea of fishing out the back of the island, but I popped into Slamfish today. Reports aren't that brilliant. The fishing's been pretty poor, to be honest, in the last week. Everyone's saying it needs a little bit of a good stir up. Trying to get some dirty water in here, have a bit of a shake up. But so I've opted to come to the deep water venue. I fish here loads. I'm sure all of you, or most of you, have certainly seen me fish here quite a few times. It is one of my favourite spots. As you can see, there's quite a bit of colour in the water, but this is a deep water venue. I'm going to be fishing in anywhere between 30 and maybe 50 feet of water, so hopefully we can get into a reasonably decent fish. So with that being said, potentially I've got the wrong rigs because I haven't gone home to change it. I haven't got lead lifts, but I did manage to change some bait. So I've got some crab, but we'll go through all that in a second. Let's get set up while it's still light. Let's get set up, let's try and get a bait out in the water, and hopefully we can get into a couple of fish. Cheers.
Oh, buzzing. So as I said, fishing Fort Victoria tonight, which is a relatively deep water venue, and when the tide comes through here, it can come through here pretty hard. But I think we've probably still got 4 hours of the flood, and it's quite a long high tide. It's a really small tide tonight anyway. But like I said, I've pretty much got all the wrong gear. I've got 6-ounce leads, I've got a couple of 7s. Normally I fish here with 7s all the time. So I have only got a couple of 7s and some 6s. But at least I've got the heavy line, so I should be able to get it up anyway. But let's get these reels on and let's get going. I am really liking the setup I'm using at the moment with this 58-pound braid with a leader. As you saw in my last video, it got me out of a few snags, really hard snags as well, but we got out of it, which means we didn't leave any gear in the sea, which I'm sure all of us hate doing, but sometimes it can't be avoided. But anything that we can do to try and help it has got to be a good thing. There we go. So 2 dio rods, both 13'6", and they're both 4 to 8 ounce. This is a Tournament Pro Surf, and that one's an Air Surf. I actually prefer that one. It's a little bit softer in the tip and it's a little bit more forgiving in the cast. And I've got those paired up with 2 Shimano Power Aeros, bought second hand, I hasten to add. Bit too much out of my price range, to be honest, to buy those new, but they are fantastic reels. So if you can find some second hand, then grab them because they're absolutely brilliant. So light. That whole setup that I'm holding here is really well balanced, and the whole lot comes in at just over a kilo. When you consider some rods are 700 grams and they call them light, this is a really light setup. Oh, so pleasant. I know a lot of people don't like fishing in the daylight because the fishing isn't as good, but in a deep water venue like this, the fishing isn't going to be much different from now until later. It will be darker, obviously, but it's so deep that there's not a lot of natural light down there anyway. So it gets you quite excited straight away because the potential is there to catch fish right from the get-go. So as I said, I popped into Slamfish today, which is why I ended up here, because there is a potential of an early smooth hound. There has been a couple showing, and I think there was a reasonably decent one caught off the back of the island at Black Gang, double figure. So, you know, good smooth hound, and it's March. It's the 20, I don't know what it is, 24th, something like that. I think it's the 24th today. But I did come out originally to fish for rays. So I've got loads of ray baits. I've got some squid, all from Slamfish, Kraken sea baits. I've got a part bag of anchovies there. I've got a nice new bag of anchovies. Like I say, these have all been in the back of my van all day. I've got a single sardine there, and I've got a nice pack of new sardines. So I've got plenty of bait. Because I was going to fish out the back, I did bring out some black lug in the hope of catching a pouting that I could have used for bait, again for a ray or a conger. But we're fishing here today, so plans are slightly changed. So Nobby at Slamfish has got loads of spider crabs in at the moment. They are frozen, of course, because these are from last season. But until the other one has come in, I haven't got a lot of other choice really. It's really, really hard to get peeler crabs. If people go out and get their own peeler crab, shore peeler crab on the island, generally they keep it for themselves. It's very difficult to get shore peeler crab to purchase on the island. So I've got some spiders. They're frozen solid. So what I'll do in a bit is I'll cut those open. I'll go down, get some water, fill the bag up with some seawater, and hopefully they'll defrost. Right, rigs. Well, I had loop pulley rigs that I was going to use. So I'm obviously not going to be able to use those today, but being as I have come out for really to try and get a hound, I know it's super early, the chances are quite slim. I've got a few 3.0 pulley dongle rigs. It's basically the same as a normal pulley rig, but it's just got a dongle. It's got a single 3.0 circle hook on the bottom and a dongle, so it acts like a hair rig. Your bait will hang slightly below your hook, hook it in, and hopefully that way you get much better hookup, especially for rays as well, but smooth hounds, dogfish even. But that hook is pretty much always right in the kisser, so it's nice and safe for the fish. Don't get any deep hook stuff. That's the end goal. And you get a good hookup. So that's what we got. We've got some dongles. I'll have a little root around. Pretty sure, there we go, perfect. And it's a normal pulley pennels. That's pretty much what I'm going to fish with tonight. Pulley pennel and a pulley dongle. I'm just hoping that with it being such a small tide, I mean that tide is still pushing, but with it being such a small tide, we should be all right with a 6 ounce. I'd much prefer to have 7s, but hey ho, such is life. So there we go. I've got a 7 on that one anyway. I've got 2 7s and then I've got a whole bunch of 6s. So let's get a dongle out there. Quick smarts with an anchovy. You never know, we might get into a ray. It would be nice, that's for sure. Been inundated with dogfish basically of late, so I do apologise. There's not been a whole bunch of fish to show. So I've taken the head off, I've taken the tail off. One whole anchovy, popped it on my baiting tool, and then we're just going to bind that up with a little bit of the Baitex. I use the Baitex heavy. I find it still really quite slim, and I really do like it. So I don't need loads. I haven't got my shepherd's crook. In fact, I probably have in there somewhere, but we're not going to use it for the purposes of today. So as you can see, the dongle runs all the way down the side of that bait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my hook just in the very end of that anchovy, just like so, and then we'll bind that bit of braid down the side of it. So it's the braid's got knots in. All these rigs are available from the website, and they're also available from Slamfish in Newport as well, which is down by Odessa's boatyard. So like I say, it is a great rig for smooth hounds, so hopefully we can get into one tonight. There we go. If we can't, we'll still pick up a dogfish and bits and bobs like that. There we go. So as you can see there, that just hangs lovely just down below, and then we've got a nice little loop on there that goes on your imp, and then you can cast it out like that. Nice. And unfortunately, which is pretty much always the case, you come out to a venue that is fished quite heavily, and there's always fishing gear on the floor. Right, there we go. One ready to rock and roll. Now that sun's setting, start getting a little bit of funky light behind me, but anyway, there we are. There it is, all on the rod, all clipped up, ready to go. So I'm going to Probably stick this one a little bit left because the tide is running left to right, and hopefully it will be okay. And there we are, we've got one out. What I do like to do, I'm not using the cups on the bottom again. I tend not to use them very much, to be honest. But what I have done is I've just put one of my eyes up against the top of the rest, so that if something does want to pull that rod, it can't pull the rod straight over the stand. It will only go up as high as there, and then obviously I've got a loose drag as well. But let's get a second rig baited up, and let's get that one out as well. It's that witching hour with the filming. It makes it so difficult. But we'll carry on. It's because I've got the light behind me. I wanted to try and get you the sunset because it's so pretty, and I failed miserably. But anyway, so like I said, I have got the loop pulley rigs with me, and it's not a recommendation as such, but I personally wouldn't use one at a venue like here. Just where it is really snaggy when you're reeling in because of that ledge. You're trying to get over the ledge all the time, so the least amount of hooks the better. Do fish here with 2 hook flappers, of course, all the time, but I do keep those snoods really quite short. It is only personal preference. By all means, come here and fish with a loop rig, but I do think you might struggle because I think it might get snagged up. So we're just fishing with pulleys all night tonight. I wasn't going to, but I am now. And on this one, I'm just going to quickly whack out, what, half a sardine? Let's go with half a sardine and squid wrap. So I'm going to take the head of the sardine off. I'll leave that there, maybe for a bait later, maybe not. Maybe I'll use a few of them all together. Just going to snip the tail off, just there. And then I'm going to go straight down the middle. So essentially turning that into 2 fillets. Just like that. And then we get a nice bit of sort of guts and stuff like that, all the nasty stuff, but the stuff that's really good for fishing on each piece. And let's have a look in here, because I've only got a couple of part bags of squid. Nice still. Let's say all of this has been in my cool box all day in the back of the van. It's still relatively frozen-ish, I would say, like a slushy. But I am going to put a piece of squid up the side of that. Like I say, all these part bags, I do end up taking them home and just popping them straight back in the freezer and reusing them. Because why not? On the tool again, and then I've just popped that piece of squid straight over the skin side. So all those guts and all the flesh is all on show. I'm not masking it with the squid. Right, so I know probably 99% of you all know how to bait up and have probably been baiting up longer than I have. So I do appreciate that, but I am just showing it for other people that are where I was only like 4 years ago. So we've got that nice and bound up. We've got 4/0 pulley. Pop that hook there, look at that. Nice and proud, beautiful. There's no one else here. I think there was quite a few people going to a place called Chale tonight. Like I say, I was going to go to Atherfield myself, but I don't know, the reports haven't been that great for out the back. It's a very small tide. There's very little wind, swell or anything, so I just thought let's just go deep. See if we can't winkle something out. There's actually a bit of a back eddy out there, so I've cast that one left. Tide is moving left to right, but it's actually gone further left. So this next one, I'll cast in a little bit to the right, and there we go, look at that. That is a stunning looking bait. Nice 4-0 circle hook, nice and proud. 4-0 Aberdeen, nice and proud. On a pulley rig with no lead on it. That would help, wouldn't it? Right, let's get this one on and get it out as well. Right, should pretty much be able to punch this one out almost straight in front of me. And then I think I need to get the tip lights on already. Okay, let's go. There we go, just feed that line down basically until it hits the bottom. And there we are, we're on the bottom. God, I haven't fished here with 6-ounce leads for such a long time. I'm slightly worried, I'm not gonna lie. I'd feel much more comfortable if I had 7s. It's just to try and stop that lead from moving in a tide, but it is a tiny tide. It is like an absolutely minute tide. We'll still get the tide coming through, it's just not going to come up very high. There we go, we're fishing. Ta-da! You never know, we might get a fish, but we'll definitely die trying anyway. Could be an El Blanco, but let's give it a shot, eh? So both of those now have swung round slightly to the left. So I need to get my 3rd rig set up. I mean, they're 7s, but you can imagine what that would be like with 6s. They've moved already and it's a very small tide. So if next one is going to be with a 6, I'm going to have to really preempt that and walk a little bit up the wall and cast way up tide, I think, and then probably let a nice belly of line out and try and almost up tide. Hopefully that line will come off the reel and it will bed that lead in. That's the plan. Talk a good game. But we've still got to try and get a fish on the side, haven't we? Right, let's defrost those crab. What I've done is I've just cut the bag open, but what I will do is I'll break the back shell and that will let some of that seawater in there and hopefully defrost it a little bit quicker. And although I'm not match fishing tonight, I will have that 3rd rig ready to go from the tripod, hopefully at all times, unless by some crazy thing it suddenly gets really busy and I can't keep up with it. But I am only going to be fishing with 3 rigs, dongles and pulleys. As soon as that crab's defrosted, I'll be able to put a bit of that out on a dongle, because that would be fun. That would be fun if we can get into an early one. There we go, that light is just starting to go now. I've got the lights on, I need to sort these tip lights out. It's still the same on that first cast. They're nice baits. I'm gonna give them a little bit, probably 20 minutes or so, to be honest, on the first one. Just see how we get on. If last week's session's anything to go by, there was absolutely tons of crabs. But I'm thinking it might be a little bit different here. Felt like I literally had a bite straight away then as I tightened down, but it might have been me. I might have knocked the rod. Let's just leave it. Hopefully you can see those tip lights. Haven't got the camera at a silly angle. I just thought I'd get it on this sky. Stunning. It is so still. Let's have a look, shall we? I'm not sure there's anything on here, but it's due a change anyway. No, nothing there. Nothing there. God, it definitely doesn't get up as quick without that lead lift. But we got it. God. So it's definitely getting milder. We're like at 10 degrees, I think, all night tonight. So it's definitely warming up. Right, let's get some crab baited. See if we can go find a smooth hound, shall we? Nice, getting a bite. So there we go, half a peeler crab, spider peeler crab, so they're much bigger. So that's half a crab. And to be honest, you could probably go down to using a quarter of a spider peeler crab, probably even a bit more when the bigger ones come in. That was a sort of small to average size one. So you can easily get 2 baits out of that. But like I say, you probably get more like 3 or 4 to be honest. But because we really want to try and get some crab scent out there, there's not a lot of hounds around. There's a couple. So if we want to try and get one, we need to get that scent out there. There we go. Look at that. Come on. Let's see if we can get one. That'd be so cool, wouldn't it? There we go, look. Ow. Oh. Getting bites on both by the looks of it. Well, it's not a hound. Unless that suddenly goes whoop. That's the crab. And that's sardine and squid. I think if it was a hound, we'd know about it. Well, I say that. No. I haven't even got my 3rd rig set up. I need to quickly bait up. No, I think I'll be looking at the one on the right. I think it's probably a dogfish. It's literally just gone out. Oh. Oh, there we go. There we are. Blank saved. I'll just quickly show you. It's only a dogfish, but I'll just quickly show you. Look at that. That single 3/0 hook straight in the bottom of the mouth. So this makes it much better for the fish. It's much easier to unhook. There's no deep hooking. And in this fish, we can get away really, really safely. Not only that, it could have been a smooth hound, because that was on that peeler crab that literally was in the water for about 2 minutes. But anyway, saved a blank. What I am going to do, because that crab wasn't in the water for very long, there you go, the other one's going now. I'm just going to whip up a little bit of squid up the side of it and reuse it, because it seems silly to take that off. I think we got that second part of the second part of the flood that we sometimes get here on the island, which means we had slack water, but now it's pushing again, because my rods are both going off to the right. Let's have a look at this one, because I think we got a fish on here. Yeah. Oh. God. It's a workout, I tell you that much. Phew. Come on, buddy, I can see your eyes coming through the water. There we go. There we go. Another little dog. But when that's all that's in front of you, that's all that you can catch, then definitely take it. Wow, look at the colour of that sky. That's epic. Right. And there we are, you see, in contrast with the pulley panel, both of those hooks, unfortunately, are down as dogfish. Now I've got to take some time, try and get these hooks out safely. And there we go. Took a little bit of doing, but we got there. I've got another nice crab bait here on the dongle. It'd be so nice if we can get a smooth hound. I'm not entirely sure it's going to happen, but the chances are there, but let's just say they're quite slim. But we're getting into a couple of dogfish. We're moving now. We're moving now. Right, let's have a look at this one then, because this one is hooping the wrong way. Oh, isn't that? Yeah, there's that snag there. We got through it. Wow, What the hell? I think I had a load of... Must have had a load of weed on it, because that was heavy. And on the bottom, yeah, got a bit of weed there, picked up some stuff for sure. But got ourselves in a right pickle here. Let's just take that off. Thought we were getting a little indication of a bite. Got a small little pout in here, and he's only just delicately hooked on that 4-0. So we're going to get this one straight back. I've got bait, so we don't need this one for bait tonight. Yeah, there we go, and off he goes. Cool. Well, there we are. Let's see, that's my good deed of the day right there. So let's get another one on this. Sort it all out because it's all twisted where obviously he's been on there for a little while. And let's get another one out there. It's funny, isn't it? I fish with a scratching rig pretty much every time I come out, hoping to catch a fresh pouting that I can use for bait. And then I catch one on a pulley panel and I put it back. But, like I say, I don't need it tonight. Tell you what, if I get another one, I'll keep it and I'll use it. But I'm not going to try for one. Unless it gets really difficult later. And then I will try for one. There we go though. Getting into a few fish. Not all bad, is it? Such a nice evening. So still, so clear. Ooh. That's really going for it, isn't it? Is that because it's on the move? What's going on? No, there's definitely something on there. Yeah. Ah. There's a line snag there, I can feel it. Hopefully my gear's man enough to pull through it. Yeah. I think we might have just gained some extra gear. Oh, it's warm. It's warm. Yeah. Oh, conger. Conger, that's the first conger I've had for ages. But yeah, I've got a load of gear there. Load of line. But again, load of gear that I've pulled out there, but because I've got that heavier gear, I can pull straight through it and pull it out. Ooh, that is nasty. There we go though, that's cool. Look at that. Just pulled all that yellow line out. He's croaking. He's croaking, and he's wrapped up in the yellow line as well. Poor bugger. Don't wrap yourself up in mine as well though, mate. Come on. Perfectly hooked because of that circle. There we go. Perfectly hooked because of that circle again, right in the bottom of the jaw. There we are. Little strap conger eel. There we go, little strap conger eel. That's the first one I've seen for ages, actually. Ah, 3 species, it's not too bad. Haven't actually got a bait ready to go. On the crab, on the dongle. Now let's try and sort this lot out. We've got a little bit of a dilemma here. My lines are crossed for sure. I just don't know which one to bring in first so they don't get tangled. And inevitably, whichever one I do bring in will be the one that I shouldn't have. It's moving. I'm definitely touching the other line. Yeah, I think we did it. Yeah, we're over that side. Wow, that did go over the top of it. Surprised. Ooh. Sweating. Absolutely sweating. So warm. Right, well, it's definitely gone quiet for half an hour or so. Had a few little touches on these, but nothing major. So I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna fish basically with crab baits now. Oh, for the next sort of hour. It's the stinkiest bait that we've got. A nice bit of crab. We might be able to entice something along. Here we go, sorry, looking at the rod. Another crab bait, much the same as before. So I think I might have missed a bite. So quiet. I can see the rips out there. We've got a bit of tide, we've got a bit of movement again now, which is quite nice. But let's sort this one out. Untangle it. And then hopefully it'll be good to go again. Am I seeing that right? You're going to get into that time where I've been staring at these rods for so long. Your eyes start playing tricks on you, but I'm sure that left-hand one just moved. I haven't had a single bite for at least an hour, I would have said. Gone quite slow now. I mean, it's beautiful, it's so quiet. Apart from the gulls, there's absolutely tons of gulls making a load of noise over there. Got a lovely crab bait ready to go out. You see there, I've bound up some of the legs as well, just to see if I can help entice something. Maybe there's a little bit of extra movement on that bait with the legs moving around. But at the moment, like I say, it's tough going. Be nice to get one more. Well, it'd be nice to get a couple more, to be honest, but we'll take one more at this point. Oh, let's stick another one out there. We've got to stick with the plan. We've got the crab. Let's stick with the plan. Let's keep chucking the fresh ones out, and you never know, we might get lucky. God, do you know, it feels like I'd have to accidentally knock a fish out with my lead and then foul hook it to catch it at the moment. Still chucking out loads of fresh crab. But what I'm going to do is I've only got a couple of crab baits left, so I am going to switch it up to alternating. So I am going to stick some fish baits out again. But I've got another crab one there, so I'm going to put that one out, and then I'll switch it up, fish with some of those anchovies again. I think just try and fish for a bite. To be honest, I mean, yes, it'd be lovely to get a PB, conger, ray, you know, smooth hound, anything like that. But the reality is, I think I'm just fishing for bites at the moment. So let's bring this in. We'll continue with the crab because it would be great to get a smooth hound, but I think we just need to try and get a fish. Let's punch this one out again. Cast that last one in a little bit closer. Just because the tide was running a little bit harder. But I think it's eased off a little bit, so we're gonna whack one out there again. There we go. Whole anchovy, squid head and guts, all wrapped together in one beautiful parcel. This one here is hooping over. It's the red one as well. It's just a stiffer rod, it's absolutely hooping. So I'll have to have a look at it. Might have a dogfish sat in there, you never know. No, it doesn't feel like it, just possibly have picked up a bit of weed. Ooh. Didn't even know. Didn't even know. Well, that's nice to know. There's definitely still something out there because that bait had been smashed. It was the crab as well, so it could have just been a dogfish. Could have been anything, to be honest, but let's get this one out. Try and go sort of mid-range, I think, with this one, because there's definitely some tide out there at the moment. Let's have a look. Oh, thought there might have been. Oh, look out that snag though. Come on, baby. Oh, I can feel it all. I think we got it. Eee. Eee. God. Christ almighty. You watch me pull out a little pouting now. Oh, still picking up line. Can feel it. Oh, God. There we go. Maybe that's what all the weight is. No, I think we got a fish. Christ. Oh, my arm. There we go. Not a bad sized dogfish actually, this one. Been sat on there for a little while though. I can sort of watching it, tiny little movements, but anyway, we got another fish. Yeah, it's been pretty hard work the last hour or so. Well, I say hard work, it's been really easy work. I've just been sat on my backside changing a few baits and not reeling in, but hard work in the sense of the fishing hasn't been brilliant, but yeah, we got another one, so chuffed. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. We've got a comp coming up this weekend, so this will obviously go out Friday or Saturday, to be honest, but depends when I get the edit done. But yeah, we've got a comp on the Saturday, and the tides, like we got really small tide tonight. There's definitely some movement out there because I'm in this deep water venue, but the tides are really quite small, and at the weekend they're absolutely massive. It's such a big jump. It's Tuesday now, and just on Saturday it's huge. But not just that it's massive, it's super, super low as well. So I use an app called Predict Wind. I've found it to be really accurate with tide times, and it goes off of buoys in certain points around, certainly for us at the south coast, there's quite a few areas around the island that it will pinpoint to get the tides, but it does the wind, it does the temperature, it does the rain, it does the pressure. But what it does is it gives you a graph of the tide. So when we fish the Solent, quite often we get a double tide, and it will show that on the graph. So it will show, like tonight we've got a really long tide, really long high tide. It's up for about 3.5 hours. It's very strange. Ooh, I might have had a bite. But the lowest I've ever seen it is like 0.4, 0.5 on a decent tide. But it's 0.2 on Saturday, which means it's going to be miles out. Yeah, so I'm not sure where we're fishing yet, but yeah, it should make for quite interesting fishing anyway. Might be taking quite a long walk to get down to the water's edge, depending on where we are. But yeah, comp Saturday, can't wait. Ah, well, it's been ever so quiet still. Well, we haven't had any interest since that last dogfish. And I've just brought in that last crab bait. And there's nothing on there. Doesn't even look like anything's had a little nose at it, to be honest with you. A little bit of weed coming through. The tide has turned now. So I had sort of had it in my head. It was going to be a sort of short session. And I'll knock it on the head around now. It's about 10:30. So it'll be a very short one for me. But I don't know. I think I'm going to have a couple more casts. See if we can't entice something. Something to take one of our baits. What about the fish and squid now? I mean, to be honest, I could probably mush that one up and chuck it out again, but we're not going to. Got to be one more out there, isn't there? So this is basically what I'm chucking out at the moment. This is just whole anchovies. Just doing whole anchovy with a piece of squid wrapped up the side. Pulleys and still the dongles as well. I'd say the last, probably been 50% I would have said on the dongle and 50% on the pulley, on the pennel rather. But let's change this one on the right hand side. It hasn't moved, but it's due. And then we'll chuck that out, and I think that might make that the last cast, I think. Well, there we go. The end of another session. Alright, it wasn't too bad. Like I say, I packed one rod away already. What did we get? 3 dogfish, little conger and a pouting. We're catching fish, but it's not the sort of ones that we came out for, but I can't really grumble. It's been an absolutely glorious evening. It's been super quiet, apart from the birds been making an absolute racket. But no, I've really enjoyed it. I did come out to try and really try to get a smooth hound. Came out, threw loads of crab out there, but it just wasn't to be. It's super early. There are a few showing, but I think, yeah, it's just a case of being right place, right time. Somebody dropped a comment that there's quite a few getting caught on the Bristol Channel, and obviously we know that there's a couple getting caught on the island, and a nice, reasonable one got caught on Chesil Beach as well. So they're definitely out there. I think we've just got to wait a little bit longer. Maybe 2-3 weeks, and then hopefully, like I say, we'll be able to come out and be pretty sure that we might actually get into a smooth hound. It'd be nice to get a decent bend on the rod, because it's been a little while, to be honest, since we had a decent fish. It's all been dogfish, congers, and pouting. But we will keep trying. So thank you ever so much for stopping by. If you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed already, then please do. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps the channel out, really helps me out, and it's very much appreciated. So until the next one, which will be the comp, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.